Hello and welcome back to Math with Misty. We're delving into another statistics video comparing populations. In this video, we will learn how to compare two box and whisker plots and what information we can glean from them. In previous videos, the knowledge that we will use is how to read box and whisker plots. There are two standards we're looking at here. Standard 7 MAE 34. Compare and contrast the degree of visual overlap of two numeric data distributions. And standard 7 MAE 35, use measures of center and measures of variability for numerical data from random samples to draw informal comparative inferences about two populations. Lots of words, but you will see what that means when we get into practice. Reminder that a box and whisker plot is made up of 5 numbers: the minimum, Q1, the median, Q3, and the maximum. From that, we can find the range, which is the maximum minus the minimum, and the IQR, the interquartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1. We can also learn that we can split up our data into 4 quartiles, which is where our Q1 and Q3 come from, and each quartile represents 25% of our data. Okay, so let's just jump right in with an example. Okay, so we have these two box and whisker plots, and they represent Yuri's math test grades for semester 1 and semester 2. The first thing we need to do is start by gathering our information. So for semester 1, her minimum score was a 74. Her Q1 score was an 82. Her median score was an 84. Her Q3 score is an 88. And her maximum score is a 92. So the range, the distance from the minimum to the maximum, is 18. And the IQR, the interquartile range, is 6. So that's our data for semester 1. Let's look at data for semester 2. The minimum is 82. Q1 is 86. Median is 90. Q3 is 94. Maximum is 96. The range is 14. And the IQR is 8. Okay, now let's see what conclusions we can draw. I noticed because my range is smaller, her semester 2 grades are more consistent. Okay, the larger the range, the more variability you have. I also noticed that in semester 2, her grades are higher. This is evidenced by all 5 of my 5-number summary, the minimum, Q1, median, Q3, maximum, are higher in semester 2 than they were in semester 1. If I remember from my 25% representatives, I can see that 25% of her semester 1 grades are lower than the minimum grade of semester 2. On the other side, I can see that if I look at the top grade, here's her semester 1 maximum score, and 25% of her semester 2 grades are higher than her maximum score in semester 1. Another inference, and I'm not going to write all of these down, is that, so these three boxes represent 75%, and they're higher than 50% of her semester 1 scores. If you see any other conclusions we can make, drop them in the chat below. I'm interested in seeing what other conclusions you find about Yuri's math test scores between semester 1 and semester 2. Okay, let's look at another example. So we have the daily high temperature for 2 cities in June. We're looking at Anchorage, Alaska, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. So let's go and fill in our data for both of these cities. Let's start with Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska. So the minimum temperature was 54. Q1 looks to be between 64 and 66, so we'll say about 65. The median, again, is between two numbers. It's between 66 and 68, so let's say 67. Q3 looks to be about 69, and maximum 72. Okay, the range, 72 minus 54. So Alaska had a range of 18 degrees, and then the IQR would be 4 degrees. Remember that your IQR, this box here, represents 50% of your data. So half of the days that they recorded temperatures were between 65 and 69 degrees. Now let's look at Albuquerque, New Mexico. That minimum score was, or temperature was 76. The median, or not the median, let's do Q1 first. Q1 appears to be about 89. The median, about 91. Q3 looks to be about 93. And maximum would be 98. So the range, 98 minus 76, is a range of 22 degrees. The IQR, which is 93 minus 89, is 4. So interestingly enough, they both have an IQR of 4. That means that for both cities, 50% of their temperatures fell within a range of 4 degrees. What are some other conclusions we can draw? Well, we can tell just by looking at the graph. New Mexico is hotter. There is no overlap in these graphs. That means for the month of June, Alaska's hottest day was still cooler than New Mexico's coolest day. And that shows here too, and all of the data points being higher. And then we said that they both have an IQR of 4. So 50% of temperatures, TEMPERA, stayed in a range of 4 degrees. That degree sign got a little giant on us. Okay. There are more conclusions that you can make, but I want you to drop some of your own in the chat box. I'm interested to seeing what conclusions you drew from the graph that I left out, or maybe didn't even see. And I thank you for dropping by. I look forward to seeing you in the future.